तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are within the conversations of Wednesday, January 2, 1884. And we are at a point where Master Sri Ramakrishna is repeatedly telling M, don't reason anymore. And is asking him, tell me that you won't reason anymore. So what is this point we have to understand? Reason is logic, and logic has no base, says the Vedanta Sutras. And we find, these days I am finding it much more, that everybody has his own logic. We go by one line, and they go by very different line, most unexpected. So actually, logic is a play of our mind. Now, logic has use that it can disprove what is wrong. But logic has no legs to show us what is the truth. Because by now we know that the truth is absolutely one without a second. And how can logic, which requires 2, 3, 4 factors, steps, can approach one without a second? Then why people are given to logic? Unless we answer that question, because in our mind, there is a faculty called logic. Now, what is the use of that logic then? Why that God has given us this faculty of logic? That is to be used only to understand exactly what the rishis tell us. So logic is a secondary tool. Logic itself will not give us knowledge, but the knowledge given by the rishis, what exactly it means, we can use logic to understand that. One thing. Secondly, if we do not use logic, we feel we cannot get at the truth. What about that? So that Sri Ramakrishna is repeatedly telling throughout the gospel that if you love God, whatever may be your conception about God, you cannot find the details of the subtler world or approaching God by logic. But whatever may be your concept of God, if you have love for God, If you have the pull taking you towards God, you can achieve everything. Still the question remains, why people use logic? Now in Shankara's time, people were given to wrong knowledge and wrong logic already. And to show their mistake, Shankara has to use logic. Truth, when he shows, he is not using logic. There are many such instances. For example, in the Aitareya Upanishad, if you approach by logic, you will find only absurdities, foolishness, statements are incoherent, illogical, that God wanted to create, he did tapasya, he made some water, and from that water he pulled some mud, and by that mud he gave a shape, and he entered there. So the doubt comes, how he will enter something which he himself has created, himself has become. Then Shankar says, you are finding only this much difficulty. You are finding difficulty at every step if you proceed by logic. So we have to find what the Rishi wants to convey. And if we allow our mind to flow with the Rishi, then we can understand, assimilate, experience the truth which he is telling. That is the way. So, Shankar has clearly shown there, but the arguments of the opponents are so many and complicated. To remove their influence on us, he has to use logic. That is the only purpose. Now his followers, not understanding that, are given to too much logic. So we understand logic will not give us the truth. On the other hand, love will give us the truth. And a limited use of logic that we shall automatically get when we love God. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Yes, sir, I won't reason anymore. Master, everything can be achieved through bhakti alone. Now this bhakti, the word very bhakti, has definitely two elements. One is the concept that something, the God, is the supremely valuable thing in this world. Utmost respect is due to that God. And second element is that we love him, we are attracted to him, he is attracting us. If this is there, the concept that he is the only thing in life worth having, and there is a pull for that, our consciousness will go on changing. And it is actually what we want, jnanam, is the change of consciousness. So that will come. Why we require logic? So everything can be achieved through bhakti alone. Those who want the knowledge of Brahman, so people feel knowledge of Brahman is different, bhakti is different. And this is what the generality of people feel. But if you want, Thakur is telling, the knowledge of Brahman, that means if you want your consciousness to be changed into the real consciousness, we'll certainly achieve that also by following the trail of bhakti. Following the trail of bhakti. Okay. Bhakti Rasta, the way of bhakti, if you follow that, if your attraction for God becomes pure, if it is bereft of any other desire, then it will take you straight to God and you will get that supreme consciousness. And so the Brahmajnan also is available if you follow the path of bhakti. One must remember, traditionally people will find this absolutely revolutionary idea. But Sri Ramakrishna is telling by his own experience. And where else we go? And we find that he has transformed the lives of millions of people on that line, and people are succeeding. And so that is the path to be followed. Can a man blessed with the grace of God ever lack knowledge? Now, this knowledge is of many truths of the subtler field leading to Brahmajnan. So, that knowledge also will you get if God is gracious to you. If the consciousness has changed, then every subtle knowledge will be revealed to you because the knowledge is inside. And so it will come from within you. You will feel as if God, who is sitting in you, who is your real nature, is pushing out that knowledge to you. That is how you will feel. So Thakur gives an example here. At Kamarpukur, I have seen grain dealers measuring paddy. As one heap is measured away, another heap is pushed forward to be measured. The mother supplies the devotees with the heap of knowledge. So the knowledge of subtler truths, when you are talking, it comes from within. So as if mother who is within, she is pushing it because God is gracious. After then another point, after attaining God, one looks on a pandit, those who have dry knowledge without experience. One looks on a pandit as mere straw and dust. So that is of absolutely no value. And their knowledge is wrong also. By intellect, you cannot find the real knowledge. Padmalochan said to me, no, Padmalochan was a great pandit, but he was a sadhak. And Mathur Babu wanted to give donation to many pandits and sadhakas. And Padmalochan was a Brahmin, pure Brahmin. So Mathura doubt whether he will come to receive present from a fisherman like Mathur. So Mathur requested Thakur, you please invite him. So Thakur told him that Mathur is giving, will you please come? To that Padmalochan replied, said to me, what does it matter if I accompany you to a meeting at the house of a fisherman? With you, I can dine even at the house of a pariha. So all this centers around you, Thakur. And Thakur has said, if you after not realizing God, everything becomes available. So Padmalochan has come to know that Thakur has realized God, or Thakur is God himself, and with him he is ready to break the social laws. They are in society meant for something, but exceptions because in company of God himself. Everything can be realized simply through love of God. He repeats that. If one is able to love God, one does not lack anything. Now, he gives another example from the Puranas. Kartik and Ganesh were seated near Bhagavati. The story goes like this. Parvati is called Bhagavati, female form of Bhagavan. Shiva is Bhagavan. Now, they had two sons, not born in the ordinary way, but they had two sons, Kartik and Ganesh. Kartik is a name because he was born in the month of Kartik, Diwali after. But he has other names, Subramanya, etc. So he better known by the name Subramanya. In Tamil Nadu is more known as Muruga. Anyway, so he and Ganesha and their son were seated near Bhagavati, who had a necklace of gems around her neck. The Divine Mother said to them, I will present this necklace to him who is the first to go around the universe. Thereupon Kartik, without losing a moment, set out on the peacock, his carrier. So peacock is swift in flying, and that is Kartik's carrier. So he sat on it immediately and went away. Ganesha, on the other hand, in a leisurely fashion, what is Ganesha's carrier? A mouse. But it does not seem to be have used that even. Ganesha, on the other hand, in a leisurely fashion, went around the Divine Mother and prostrated himself before her. He knew that she contained within herself the entire universe. How he found out? By arguments. He knew because he loved them. The Divine Mother was pleased with him and put the necklace around his neck. After a long while, Kartik returned and found his brother seated there with the necklace on. Now, Tamilians or South Indians have a little variation in this very story. Their mother gives Ganesha a fruit in her hand. And the story continues. Kartika becomes sulking and he says, my parents have cheated me. So he goes away to south and there is a hillock, these days called Palni. So he went and sat on that hillock sulking. Now there is a wise old man living always in Tamil Nadu called Ovaya. Ovaya went to him and said, why are you sulking? He told all this story. Ovaya said, why you care for a fruit? You are their best fruit. Palam ni. Ni means you. Palam means fruit. And so that hillock is called Palani. And that is how Ovaya appeased or cooled Kartik's self. That is the continuation of this story. Weeping, I prayed to Mother, O Mother, reveal to me what is contained in the Vedas and the Vedanta. If you realize God, you can get anything. Reveal to me what is in the Puranas and the Tantras, all the scriptures, the real books of knowledge. One by one, she has revealed all these to me. So he did not have to go through. She revealed. Yes, she has taught me everything. Okay, how many things she has shown me? Oh, not okay. Oh, surprise. How many things she has shown me? One day she showed me Shiva and Shakti everywhere. Everywhere I saw the communion of Shiva and Shakti. Shiva and Shakti existing in all living things, men, animals, trees, plants. I saw them in the communion of all male and female elements. So, that is a great vision of knowledge that everything, Kshetra Kshetragya Sanyogat, like that, they are formed with the union of Shiva and Shakti. Either Raman, you understand that? Copulation. And from that, world is born. Our world is in their communion, whole world is present. Another day I was shown heaps of human heads, mountain high. Nothing else existed, and I was seated alone in their midst. So deeper and deeper spiritual visions are there. Heads means the possessors of the heads have been beheaded, Pralaya, and the heads existing, and Sri Ramakrishna present there. That is our imagination. Still another day, she showed me an ocean. Taking the form of a salt doll, I was going to measure its depth. While doing this, through the grace of the Guru, I was turned to stone. That means he did not dissolve. And through the grace of the Guru, he says, he had several Gurus, and his mind itself was his Guru. Then I saw a ship, and at once got into it, in that stone. The helmsman was the Guru. Oh. So he has told who was the Guru. I hope you pray every day to Satchidananda, who is the Guru. Do you? So God, Satchidananda, is the real Guru. He may appear through so many forms. And so one should pray to Satchidananda Guru. From him you will get knowledge, devotion and everything. Yes, sir. So Thakur has taught him already and he is doing that. Master, the Guru was the helmsman in that boat. I saw that I and you were two different things. Again I jumped into the ocean and was changed into a fish. I found myself swimming joyfully in the ocean of Satchidananda. So he himself has found everything. He himself is a devotee present in Satchidananda, playing, all that. These are all deep mysteries. What can you understand through reasoning? So can reasoning reach this? Can logic reach this? All does not appear to be logical, but there is experiences. You cannot challenge that. You will realize everything when God himself teaches you. Then you will not lack any knowledge. So all types of deeper knowledges will come to you if this Satchidananda become the Guru. So you pray to him. Okay. Now, there is no mention of January 3rd, and we skip to Friday, January 4, 1884. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room. M was still staying with the master, devoting his time to the practice of spiritual discipline. He had been spending a great part of each day in prayer and meditation under the bel tree, where the master had performed great austerities and had seen many wonderful visions of God. So that spiritual atmosphere is helpful. He was meditating there. Master to M, don't reason anymore. So that day also, he's still telling him the same thing because subconscious mind will try to reason. In the end, reasoning only injures the aspirant because it will deviate the mind into duality. One should assume a particular attitude toward God while praying to Him, the attitude of friend or servant or son or hero. What is the attitude of hero? He has given Madhur Bhav. How Madhur Bhav has become a hero here? Na, Sakhi Bhav, Dasi Bhav, Santan Bhav, wa Veer Bhav. Okay. So Veer Bhav, that is practiced. It is a reversal of Madhur Bhav. And only the Arabs practice it. But here, Thakur is prescribing that through Tantra. What is Veer Bhav? Divine Mother is in the form of all women. And you have somehow to please that woman. And if woman is pleased, satisfied, she gives you everything. Now, how to satisfy her? By, apparently, by cohabiting with her. That gives her immense pleasure and she is satisfied. That is Veer Bhav. And you can assume that. And when the Divine Mother is happy, satisfied, she will bestow you anything. So Thakur has mentioned that also. Friend or servant or son or hero. Now here, one problem. Smart, huh? ताके दागबार समय. Now here, God is taken as the Divine Mother. And so, in these attitudes, we will say, friend Sakhi, the female friend of the Divine Mother, the female servant of the Divine Mother, the son of the Divine Mother, and the husband of the Divine Mother. That is that hero. I assume the attitude of a child. To me, every woman is my mother. The divine Maya, seeing this attitude in an aspirant, moves away from his path out of sheer shame. So if the child attitude is there, then she does not feel that she should be appeased in a sexual way. That is the strength of that is Thakur's glory. Thakur is telling us all these things. We never knew that. The attitude, that means theoretically that is there. The attitude of hero is extremely difficult. The Shaktas and the Bauls among the Vaishnavas follow it. Even the Bauls follow it. So there are certain new things being revealed as far as I am concerned. I thought that this reverse Madhurabhav is only practiced by the Arabs. But here we find Veer Tantric Bhav and Bauls. Baul is a subsect of the Vaishnavas, mendicants. But it is very hard to keep one's spiritual life pure in that attitude. So one does not actually have to undergo that sex, but appease the mother. One can assume other attitudes towards God as well. The attitude in which the devotee serenely contemplates God as the creator, the attitude of service to him. Now here again God शांत दास्य सख्य वात्सल्य मधुरभा मधुर भावे सब आचे शांत दास्य सख्य वात्सल्य. Serenely contemplates God as the creator, that is Shantava. The attitude of service to him, Dasyava. The attitude of friendship, Sakyava. The attitude of motherly affection, Vatsalyava. Or the attitude of conjugal love, Madhurva. The conjugal relationship, the attitude of a woman to her husband or sweetheart, contains all the rest. In the Madhurva, all bhavas are contained. Serenity, service, friendship, and motherly affection. To M, which one of these appeals to your mind? M, I like them all. Master, when one attains perfection, one takes delight in all these relationships. In that state, a devotee has not the slightest trace of lust. The holy books of the Vaishnavas speak of Chandidas and the washerwoman. Their love was entirely free from lust. So there are stories in the Vaishnava books. We are not aware of that story. If I find, I will tell you later on. In that state, a devotee looks on himself as a woman. He does not regard himself as a man. Sanatana Goswami, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's one of the disciples, refused to see Mirabai because she was a woman. Mira informed him that at Vrindavan, the only man was Krishna and that all others were his handmaids. Was it right of Sanatan to think of himself as a man? Mira inquired. So this story is that because Sanatana Goswami wanted to think of himself as a woman, but he is a man. If he looks at a woman, then his manhood may come up. And that is why he did not want to see a woman. But when Meera challenged him, he understood that she is not an ordinary woman. And so he invited her respectfully and talked with her. That is the whole story. So these are all mentioned by Master Machai, very, very deep things. At dusk, M was sitting at the master's feet. Sri Ramakrishna had been told that Keshav's illness had taken a turn for the worse. He was talking about Keshav and incidentally about the Brahma Samaj. Master to him, do they only give lectures in the Brahma Samaj? Or do they also meditate? I understand that they call their service in the temple Upasana. Keshav at one time thought a great deal of Christianity and the Christian views. At that time and even before, he belonged to Devendranath Tagore's organization, Brahma Samaj. Devendranath was the leader. M. Had Keshav Babu come here from the very beginning, he would not have been so preoccupied with social reform. He would not have been so busy with the abolition of the caste system, widow remarriage, intercaste marriage, women's education, and such social activities. Master, Keshav now believes in Kali as the embodiment of spirit and consciousness. So now, after coming in touch with Thakur, he believes that Kali is embodiment of Chetan, the primal energy. Besides, he repeats the holy name of the mother and chants her glory. So much change has come in him. Do you think the Brahma Samaj will develop in the future into a sort of social reform organization? M. The soil of this country is different. Only what is true survives here. Oh. Master, yes, that is so. The Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religion declared by the rishis, will alone endure. But there will also remain some sects like the Brahma Samaj. Everything appears and disappears through the will of God. So, for some people, that is suitable, and that is why God has created that. So, here we find a difference from what people will believe. People believe Thakur said Sanatana Dharma will remain, everything else will go away. But here he does not say so. He is telling that some others like Brahma Samaj will also remain. Important thing, please correct your notion if you had that notion. Earlier in the afternoon, several devotees from Calcutta had visited the master and had sung many songs. One of the songs contained the following idea: "O mother, you have cajoled us with red toys. You will certainly cannot running to us when we throw them away and cry ourselves hoarse for you. You will certainly come running to us when we throw them away and cry ourselves hoarse for you." Master to M. How well they sang about the red toys. M. Yes, sir. You once told Keshav about the red toys. Master. Yes. I also told him about the Chidakash, the inner consciousness, and about many other things. Oh, how happy we were. We used to sing and dance together. So he has changed Keshav as much as he could, and he was happy. We pass on to Saturday, January 5, 1884. It was the 23rd day of M's stay with Sri Ramakrishna. M had finished his midday meal about 1 o'clock and was resting in the Nahabat when suddenly he heard someone call his name 3 or 4 times. Coming out, he saw Sri Ramakrishna calling to him from the veranda north of his room. M saluted the master and they conversed on the south veranda. Master, I want to know how you meditate. When I meditated under the bel tree, I used to see various visions clearly. So meditation is meant for gaining experiences. One day I saw in front of me money, a shawl, a tray of Sandesh Bengali sweets, and two women. I asked my mind, do you want any of these? I saw the Sandesh to be mere filth. One of the women had a big ring in her nose. I could see both their inside and outside, entrails, filth, bone, flesh, and blood. The mind did not want any of these money, shawl, sweets, or woman. It remained fixed at the lotus feet of God. So, experiences of objects to be given up is a part of meditation. A small balance has two needles. Balance, weighing balance. The needle and there is an upper needle. There is a needle which moves like this and there is an upper needle. Now if the balance is correct, both are in the same line. A small balance has two small balance. These goldsmiths have that balance. The upper and the lower. The mind is the lower needle. I was always afraid lest the mind should move away from the upper needle, God. Further, I would see a man always sitting by me with a trident in his hand. So, the inner teacher had assumed a form. He threatened to strike me with it if the lower needle moved away from the upper one. So, everything is concrete for him. The intensity of his spiritual moods makes everything concrete for him. But no spiritual progress is possible without the renunciation of woman and gold. So he has come back to that. Enjoyment. I renounce these three: land, wife, and wealth. So that is a proverb in Hindi, Jamin Joru Rupaya. Three things which make man attached to the world. Once I went to the registry office to register some land, the title of which was in the name of Raghuveer, their family deity. The officer asked me to sign my name, but I didn't do it because I couldn't feel that it was my land. I was shown much respect as the Guru of Keshav said. They presented me with mangoes, but I couldn't carry them home. A sannyasi cannot lay things up. So, embodiment of Tyaga of every type. How can one expect to attain God without renunciation? Suppose one thing is placed upon another, how can you get the second without removing the first? One must pray to God without any selfish desire. But selfish worship, if practiced with perseverance, is gradually turned into selfless worship. Yes, that is also true. So Thakur is giving that much concession. It is actually the step. If you worship with desire, your love for God predominates. And so one day we feel, what do I get by these things? If I get God Himself. So that is how Sakam Bhakti leads to Nishkam Bhakti. Dhruva practiced tapasya to obtain his kingdom. But at last he realized God. Because Narada told him the only thing permanent in life is God. He said, why should a man give up gold if he gets it while searching for glass beads? So he's searching for ordinary things, but the love has developed, and if he gets the real thing, he does not care for that. God can be realized when a man acquires sattva, the tranquil, balanced state of mind. Householders engage in philanthropic work such as charity, mostly with a motive that they will get name, if not anything else, punyam. That is not good. But actions without motives are good. Yet it is very difficult to leave motives out of one's actions. So motives are there, we try to remove them, and we grow and slowly become unselfish. When you realize God, will you pray to Him? Oh God, please grant that I may dig reservoirs, build roads, and found hospitals and dispensaries. After the realization of God, all such desires are left behind automatically. Okay. Then mustn't one perform acts of compassion, such as charity to the poor? I do not forbid it. If a man has money, he should give it to remove the sorrows and sufferings that come to his notice. Which comes to his notice, he should use his money. In such an event, the wise man says, give the poor something, but inwardly he feels, what can I do? God alone is the doer. I am nothing. So with that idea, he has to give. It changes. The great souls, deeply affected by the suffering of men, show them the way to God. That is the way to remove their sufferings. Shankaracharya kept the ego of knowledge in order to teach mankind. Therefore, Chaitanya Deva distributed bhakti to all, including the outcast. Happiness and therefore, that means the gift of knowledge and devotion is far superior to the gift of food. Therefore, Chaitanya Deva distributed bhakti to all, including the outcast. Happiness and suffering are the inevitable characteristics of the body. You have come to eat mangoes, fulfill that desire. The one thing needful is jnana and bhakti. So yes, both he has joined. God alone is substance, all else is illusory. So this part of the knowledge is constant with Sri Ramakrishna and with love. It is God alone who does everything. That is knowledge. You may say that in that case, man may commit sin, but that is not true. If a man is firmly convinced that God alone is the doer and that he himself is nothing, then he will never make a false step. So if that has come as a firm conviction or realization, then false step is not possible. If you talk by mouth, it is different. Those who have realized God are aware that free will is a mere appearance. In reality, man is the machine and God, its operator. Man is the carriage and God, its driver. It was about 4 o'clock. Rakhal and several other devotees were listening to a kirtan by M in the hut at Panchavati. So, scene has transformed totally. M is doing kirtan and Rakhal and others are listening. In the hut at the Panchavati, Rakhal went into a spiritual mood while listening to the devotional song. His inner consciousness awakened. After a while, the master came to the Panchavati accompanied by Babu Ram and Hari. Other devotees followed. Rakhal, How well is he referring to him? How well he sang Kirtan for us? He made us all very happy. So much change has occurred in Master Macha. The master sang in an ecstatic mood. Oh friends, how great is my relief to hear you chanting Krishna's name. To the devotees he said, always sing devotional songs. Continuing his, I think we have read enough today. Time is there, but we have read enough today. So you take it up on Monday, and if possible, I have to find out that story. Okay. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiridhitam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.